We don't have to.
It's going to be a good episode. Tasty. Hey! Was that peaky?
I don't know.
Hey! Hey! Welcome to Snackdown. I'm Justin, and this is...
Andy!
And I'm super excited about this episode because we're doing...
Pickles!
And other pickled items.
Weird.
And also fermented.
Your parentheses voice is odd.
Yeah. We're doing pickles and other pickled items and also some fermented things, which I'm interested to what the flavor is. So what we're going to do first is I've got some pickles here.
Uh-huh.
And then I also got some fermented pickles.
Okay.
And then for my mom, I've got some spicy maple bourbon pickles.
Dipper? Yeah. Which you already dipped into a little bit.
Yeah, I've had those before. I was at her house and she's part of a wine club. And as a taste with their wine, she had some andouille sausage mixed with a little bit of spicy bourbon maple pickles. And they were very good.
So speaking of complimenting with andouille sausage, what else do we have?
So I picked up some Scottish cheddar cheese.
Fantastic.
Which cheddar is supposed to go well with pickles, apparently. And I also got some Welsh goat cheese.
Fantastic.
Which is supposed to go well with what we're going to have later, but I figure we can try it with other things as well. So let's just let's compare the two pickles. We got the pickled pickles. So what is that? What's that plastic jar there?
This is Grillo's Pickles.
So what is in that? I know it's got some garlic. So what makes you smell, Andy? What? The garlic or the onion?
Oh, what makes me smell?
Yeah, you always complain about
It's not what do I smell, what makes me stink.
Yeah.
It's what makes me stink. Yeah. It is both garlic and onion.
Okay, so you're going to stink after this episode. Because I think there's some garlic floaters in there.
So the ingredients are cucumbers, obviously, brine, garlic, fresh dill, and grape leaves. That's cool. But I definitely see... I mean, there's big garlic.
There's a lot of garlic in there, yeah.
Kind of sliced garlic, about maybe eighth of an inch.
Pop into this. So these are the regular pickled pickles.
We doing these ones first?
Yeah, let's just do that because your hand's on it.
I'm excited for this. You know who's more excited for this? And we kind of discussed this off the pod, but Caitlin is more excited for this. But Justin almost
fell off my chair.
Fell straight off that chair, which is fantastic and terrifying.
I reached for the Scottish cheese, and it was a little farther than I thought. My chair went flying.
So these are big boys.
Yeah.
These are like an inch and a half or almost 2 inches in diameter.
So if you're not aware, a pickle is a cucumber.
Yes. Okay, I guess we're going to establish that. Yes.
So I think some people are unaware. I mean, some may be.
Okay. Well, now you're aware. That's an amazing pickle.
That's a really good pickle.
Would you say?
Mm-hmm. It's got a little, a hint of garlic.
The clove slices are floating around, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little bit of a spice. Nothing terrible. It's vinegary and just a little bit of a spice. The garlic isn't overpowering.
No.
The crunch is amazing, the
it's
outer.
Very, very crisp.
And the inside, it tastes definitely pickly, but there's still a little bit of a freshness to it, I guess, if that makes sense. So what brand is this again? And where are they out of?
This is Grillo's Pickles. And this is out of Massachusetts, I think.
Great.
MA.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's from Needham, Massachusetts.
Probably Needham.
And it's got a picture of a pickle chilling on a lawn chair on it. Mm-hmm. And it says fresh, and it's underlined.
For that pickle that's just waiting for the summer days. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. This is an amazing pickle.
Very, very good.
This is a really good pickle.
Yeah.
We're off to a good start. It's only going to get weirder from here.
There's a lot to go. There's got a lot to go. And it's got those grape leaves in it, which I don't taste grape leaf, but I wonder if it adds just a little bit of a subtle hint of...
I mean, at that point, that's really just dialing it in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it does to it, but, it's so good. This is probably one of the best pickles I've ever had. It's so crisp.
It's very, very crisp. All right, so now we're going to...
This cuts well.
That was a delicious puckle.
Puckle.
That was
puckle from A Midsummer's Night's Dream.
So we're going to cut a little pieces of the pickle with new fresh knives that I have.
This sounds like a fermented pickle, huh?
And we're going to try a little bit of it with a little bit of Scottish cheddar.
There you go.
Because apparently cheddar cheese goes well with pickles. That's good. It's a good combo. I don't think I've ever really eaten pickles with cheese before.
No. It's a flavor combo. Fantastic flavor combo.
Yeah,
like
very good.
it just blends super well. What's jarring is the texture.
Yeah.
I think so. You get something that's like relatively soft, like cheese, creamy, whatever. And like, so you're biting into like half of that, and then like half of the pickle, which is
It was a very crisp pickle.
Right, it's a very crisp. What if your name was Chris Pickle?
My name's Chris Pickle.
That's
All
it.
right.
That's it. That's the end of that thought.
Yeah, that's the end.
Great.
All right, let's try a fermented pickle. So right there we got a jar of briny pickles.
The bubbies?
Yeah. So this is Bubby's Pickles. And these are fermented, and there's a picture of a Moby pickle on it. It looks like Moby Dick, only the whale is a pickle. And it says, only a Moby pickle is good enough for Bubby.
So a Moby Dickle?
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I just finished the book Moby Dick. So I had to get this one, right?
Did that influence your purchase of
A little bit. Because they are gluten-free and absolutely delicious, fermented with naturally present cultures. So this has cucumbers, obviously, because that's what pickles are. And then it's got water, salt, garlic, dill, spices, which we don't know what those are, mustard seed, and calcium chloride. And this brand is known for their like briny look. So it's a very cloudy jar.
So let's talk about the fermentation process.
Yeah, so I'm wondering what the difference between a fermented pickle and a pickled pickle is. I just got pickle juice all over me.
So fermenting and pickling are both ancient food preservation techniques. The confusion arises because the categories actually overlap with each other, and some fermented foods are pickled and some pickles are fermented.
Well, that's confusing.
Yeah. So a pickle is something that's been preserved in brine, so salt or salty water, or acid like a vinegar or lemon juice, which we see all the time, right?
You're handing me your plate.
Okay. This looks more like a classic pickle, right? It's a little more warty.
It's very toadish.
It's very toadish. Yeah, the other one's a frog. So, but a fermented food has been something that's preserved and transformed by a benign bacteria. So usually that means sugars and carbohydrates present in the food have been eaten by a good bacteria, often a lactic acid bacteria. I mean, that makes sense, right? Like, so you're talking about fermenting. It's with sugars and carbohydrates, usually like, simpler carbohydrates. The bacteria then converts that sugar into other substances like acids, carbon dioxide, and alcohol.
Oh, okay.
So they preserve the food. So when you, like kimchi, right?
Yeah.
Kimchi is fermented.
And we're going to have some kimchi later.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Buckle up. You're already here. You're already on that drive, right? I would assume most of our listeners commute. Maybe not Leah. She works from home. Shout out to Leah. It's been a while.
She listens to us in the commute from the living room to the kitchen.
Yes.
Takes her about a week to listen to one episode.
Yeah. It's very short.
So, have you tried this yet? I have tried it.
No.
It's a little more sour than the last one, I think.
So I tried stabbing it with a fork. Mm-hmm. It took a little longer to move through.
It's got a little bit of a thicker skin than the last one, I would say.
I would say like thicker innards.
Thicker innards?
That's my guess.
Thinnards?
Nope. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's a very, very different flavor from the last one.
This one's more musty.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
It's weird because you're eating the same thing. I mean, both of them are cucumbers, but they've been processed different ways with different ingredients. But some of the same ingredients. You know, they both have garlic.
It's from Canada.
Yeah, this is a product of Canada. Bubby's Fine Foods. And, they've both got, like, salt. This is mustard seed and calcium chloride, which the other one didn't. And I don't know what the spices are.
Definitely tasting the mustard seed.
Yeah. So I'm going to try a little bit of this with a little bit of the Scottish cheddar. That's good with the cheddar. So until today, I've never really had pickles with cheddar, but that's a good flavor combo. So if you're a pickle fan or a cheddar fan, put those two together
and have a weekend.
Yeah. So I definitely liked the first one's better, the Grillo's pickles. The fermented had more of a sour tang to it. It wasn't bad, but it had that they boast about their briny look, and it kind of had that briny flavor to it.
So the second one definitely had it was a crisp texture throughout.
They're both very crisp, the ones that we had.
Yeah, but the first one was crisp on the outside, but it was a little mushy on the inside, not in a terrible way. Yeah. It was still fine. It was still refreshing. But this one, when I took a bite, I could kind of see, literally the carve marks from my teeth. I'm not kidding. Take a bite. Take a bite. You can, look at it right now. Yeah. You can see the carve marks. It's, very, it's firm, right? This is a firm pickle.
Yeah. This is a little bit more sour than the last one, though.
and musty, in my opinion. It's like, I mean, no disrespect to them, but it's peppery and basementy.
Yeah. It's good, though. Like, it's not bad.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. It's different. And so, this is an interesting fact about pickles. 0 calories.
What?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. But that's just the thing when you talk about, like, calorie counting in pickles.
Nope. This one has 5 calories.
So, the fermented version, the Bubbies, has 0 calories. The pickled version, the Grillos... That's 5.
That's near impossible.
It's crazy though, right?
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's a very, very low calorie snack.
Interesting. Okay, so let's take a short pause.
So wait. Before we take a pause.
No, we're not taking a pause.
Oh.
I'm just saying, like, what do you like better? Is that what you're going to ask?
Out of these two,
yeah,
they're very good. But I think I like the Grillos better, the pickled version.
Agreed.
Yeah, they were very, very good. Like, I could just eat on those. Like, I think the Bubbies was good, but I think it's better combined with something.
Yes, but with a sandwich. I don't think just with a cheese.
I kind of liked the Bubbies with the cheese better. But I think I liked the Grillos standalone better, right?
No, I agree. I think the fermented flavor, which is tough to isolate, right? Like because it has a pretty strong mustard flavor. But I think
there are some mustard seeds, I think, floating in here.
Oh yeah.
Or is that a pickle seed, a cucumber seed?
It's not a cucumber seed. That's
okay,
definitely
it's a mustard seed.
Yeah, it's getting its float on. You could probably plant it, and it probably wouldn't produce.
In the Bubbies, you can see mustard seeds all throughout the bottom and floating.
Yeah.
And in the Grillos, you see
it's garlic world.
It's very garlic.
World. Sliced garlic world. Yeah. But yeah, so I think like you're right. I mean, I could just eat Grillos pickles kind of all day long.
Yeah, they're very, very good. So, Andy, you've fermented things. You have a past of like making beer cider and things like that.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think the fermentation process has on these pickles, flavor-wise, that's different from pickling?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know, man. This is like a totally different world.
So when I went to Wegmans, the classic grocery store that we often visit, there was a fermentation cooler of just fermented items. And I wonder, so this is fermented pickles. I wonder if they pickled something and then fermented it, or if they call it pickles because no one knows that cucumbers are pickles.
Well, I think you can pickle something and ferment it. Mm-hmm. Whether pickling would disrupt the fermentation process. I mean, pickling is like truly just straight chemistry, right? Yeah. You're talking about fermentation, that's microbiology. So,
I don't know.
No, it is. I mean, because it involves bacteria, it involves or yeast, right? Like, I mean, there has to be an organism involved in fermentation. So, I mean, I guess it would depend on the balances, right? Like, when you pickle something, and then if you try to ferment it, like, should you try to ferment it, then pickle it? Because if you're pickling something, you're creating a brand new environment, and is that bacteria or yeast going to tolerate that environment and then ferment it? That I don't know. If something's a fermented pickle, then I don't know at what point in the process they did what.
Yeah, whether it's like before or after the pickling.
So I don't know. So I don't know about the process.
So you have a little bit of this pickle, right? The Bubbies?
It's the end.
You want to cut and have some goat cheese with it.
Is it recommended?
No.
Okay. I don't care. Let's do it.
So we've got a little bit of a Bubbies with some Welsh goat cheese.
Shout out to goats and whales separately. And then the Welsh people separately.
Also, very good. Who knew pickles with cheese?
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's really good. Yeah.
So one more pickle thing before we go on to other pickled and fermented items is my mom got me a spicy, it's a maple bourbon pickle. And I had these at her house and they're absolutely delicious.
Are we going to have this right now?
Yeah, so let's just do this before we go on to non-cucumber items.
So, I mean, let's talk about
what's in it. Yeah, let's go.
So ingredients are fresh cucumbers, sugar, water, vinegar, and then less than 2% of salt, dehydrated red chili peppers, which I see. I mean, they're whole.
Yeah, there's big ones.
How is that less than 2%?
2%. Yeah.
Right? Like I see like 3 or 4 of them just kind of floating around.
Yeah.
Like whole chili peppers. Like these aren't like tiny little. Can you have one? Not me, but
like
I dare you.
Eat a chili pepper?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
You're like the hot guy.
The hot guy.
You're the hot guy of the pod.
Thanks. What else, Andy?
Calcium chloride, weird. Natural flavors, corn syrup. So there's no maple syrup in here.
So maybe the maple and the bourbon is the natural flavors,
That's
quote unquote?
BS. Right? That's
so
BS.
let's try one.
Okay.
So this is the only thing today that I've actually had before. So it'll first...
Justin hasn't eaten breakfast today.
So it'll first hit you with a sweet flavor.
Okay.
And then it'll have a hot aftertaste.
I'm just smelling it, right? Like
I don't really taste
I'm appreciating it.
The bourbon, which I don't think I've ever tasted bourbon and anything that says bourbon.
No. Bourbon should be the modifier in this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
There's no bourbon taste.
No. We've been over this before, like the bourbon cheese. I'm like, where
the
hell
kind
is
of like
the bourbon?
throw that in there so that you buy it.
Yeah.
It's a very good pickle, though. Like, it's a very snackable pickle. And it's very good on things. So let's try that. Let's try one more of those with a little bit of cheddar cheese.
That's spicy. That's really hitting me.
Like, not at first, though. Like, at first, it's like, wow, this is a sweet pickle.
It's building. It's consistently
But then
building.
the aftertaste that it leaves you with...
No. You don't get a pickle. You get the chili pepper. Can you please eat the chili pepper?
I'll try. But I want to try a pickle with the cheese first. So I'm now eating
I can, like, still taste it. I'm not going to add... I'm not going to have another one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's good with the cheese. Mm-hmm. Would you snack on those, or would you put those in a sandwich or something?
I would put those in a sandwich.
With the cheese, very, very good.
Yeah, very good. This would be great in a honey maple turkey, cheddar cheese, that on top.
Wow, that's a very specific.
I know what I like.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kaylin.
When I was at my mom's house having these for the first time, she paired it with andouille sausage, and that's what she had at a wine club.
Ein Club?
And it was really good. So I have some andouille sausage. Would you like to try it with that?
Yes, but I'm not getting away from you trying a red chili pepper.
So if I try a red chili pepper, will you try one of those with andouille sausage?
A pickle with andouille sausage?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay. Am I really eating this?
Yeah. You're Mr.
So I've
You're
got
Mr.
a whole...
You're Mr. Hot Guy. Am I right, guys?
So I've got a chili pepper here. Because I'm the hot one on the pod. I gotta try this. So this chili pepper smells like a pickle.
Just eat it. You have to chew it really well. No swallowing it and then like paying for it later. I want you to pay
so
for it right now.
Andy is eating.
I'm going to have the sweet maple bourbon pickle on andouille with a Scottish cheddar.
That sounds good.
And then you're going to have...
a straight chili pepper.
Yeah. What's up, dude?
Woo! Spicy?
Truly are the hot guy of the podcast. Am I right, guys?
I can feel that in my nose. So how was it, Andy?
Texture-wise, it's always a little weird with the crunch and the just kind of meltiness of the cheese and the andouille sausage. That was a very, like, melting andouille sausage. Flavor-wise, it was stupidly blended. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It was crazy blended. Like
So good.
It just melded into one. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So
I, like, before this episode...
honestly, 10 out of 10 flavor, 6 out of 10 in terms of
I've really
texture.
never paired pickles with anything other than, like, in a sandwich.
Correct.
But I've never, like, when you have a spread, like a charcuterie or whatever you have.
Stop. Okay.
You know, you have, like, cheeses and, like, meats. I've never, like, added pickles to that combo.
Right.
But it pairs very well with cheese and meats, apparently. So, very, very good. So, now that we've done these pickles, let's move on to fermented items.
We kind of already did, but okay.
A little bit. So, we've got two...
non-cucumber,
yeah, so
pickled
these are
and fermented items.
Non-cucumber fermented items. And this is before we go into the pickled section, everyone.
What?
So, let's actually just take a little break.
So, how are we dividing this?
I don't know.
So we were kind of in like the straight cucumber section,
Yep.
right?
Now we're moving on to non-cucumbers.
And
But
then we're going to move
these-
back over to pickled non-cucumbers.
Yeah, so these are items that I got from the fermented cooler. So these are fermented items. And then we're going to move on to pickled items. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with two fermented
Thanks,
items that you might be familiar with, and you might not be. And goodbye.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
And we're back.
Trying to do like a stereo thing. Kind of like
And-
Pink Floyd-y.
All right, we're going to do some fermented things now. So I got two fermented things. We have fermented okra, which is an interesting thing.
Fantastic.
We also have kimchi. I don't know if you've ever had kimchi before, but I love kimchi.
I think most people have like, I would say more people have delved into kimchi than have like tried okra.
That's true.
Like just straight up okra.
I texted Katie and said, "Oh, we're having fermented."
Shout out to Katie.
Yeah. I said, we're having fermented okra. And she said, what's okra? And I said, I thought I pegged her as like an okra person.
Can we shout out Katie's Instagram again?
Sure.
KEB.studio.
And she made our logo, so...
And she's fantastic. And she actually... So if you're like into D&D, one of our listeners is, shout out to Austria. What up?
Mara.
Mara! What up, Mara? She does little D&D stuff.
Yeah, she did a little sketch
doodles
of her D&D characters.
This one... Maybe you've shown this to me before, but I've been in a different state of mind, when I come over here and... I'm just kind of all over the board. You've got a buffalo wing one?
Yeah. That was one of the first ones she did for me.
I don't remember that, but it's kind of amazing.
Yeah, so she was like into like trying different food. So she texted me and was like, what food should I draw? And I said, wings, because that's like my favorite food.
She really does the flats justice.
Yeah, and she was like, how do I do wings? I don't even know. So like anytime I give her something to do, usually I give her something that she doesn't want to do. So I had her...
Well, you're challenging her.
So
art.
The painting that is on my wall, which is like sea, clouds, a ship. She hates doing clouds and water, which is like the painting I wanted her to paint for me.
But it has like a nice, like, it's weird because it's like a nice, like, the water itself is calm-ish.
Yeah, I think she did a really good job with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
so like when I gave her the wings, it was like something completely out of her element, just like the water and the clouds. And she's like, I don't know how to do that. But she, she does a good job with that.
You challenge her.
Yeah, so...
what a friend. What a friend.
DM her and give her something challenging.
Yeah. Yeah, so KEB.studio.
.studio, yeah. And now we're going to eat some fermented okra.
Which is totally different than wings.
Which is going to challenge us.
Is it?
Just like the clouds challenged Katie.
No, okay.
Okay.
Well, you can cut that.
So what brand is this?
Barrel Creek Provisions, born in Austin, Texas. This is a long-standing company established in 2013.
2013? That is not long-standing.
That's a baby company. Wow, look at these. This is weird. You first, man. I'm not going to try these with anything. I'm just going to eat these by themselves.
Smells good.
Fermented, never cooked. Again, kind of that musty fermented smell, right? Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. I'm tasting it now. Kind of has that pickly flavor, but without the cucumber. It's almost like just the flavor of the brine.
Do you see the hairs on the okra?
Yeah, it's very like fuzzy.
Very good. Mm-hmm. I like them. It kind of takes us back to the Bubbies again, without the pickle, like without the cucumber flavor.
Yeah, it doesn't have like the really pickly cucumber flavor. It just kind of has a flavor of the water that it was in. The
seeds in it are just easy going. Mm-hmm. There's like, if you look inside it, you're like, whoa, there's a lot going on. But take a bite. And
rub your tongue along it.
No.
It's got a real like. It's got a real like.
What the hell?
It's got a real like fuzzy flavor, like feel to it.
Okay.
It's like you're licking like a pet.
Oh yeah, I don't like that.
No.
I don't like that at all. I'm gonna stick with just eating it.
So, I'm gonna eat a little bit of this Scottish cheese after. Just
it's a great pairing.
Yeah, cheddar and pickling.
Oh,
who would have thought? I've got pickle juice in my beard.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about it more? It's worth it.
That was good. I haven't had okra too much outside of like this flavor. Have you? Have you had okra not pickled?
I have. I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Like that's in my memory. That's the first time I've had okra.
So a sliced
which is
piece,
insane.
A sliced piece of okra kind of looks like a jalapeno, right?
Yeah, kind of.
So okra, known in many English-speaking countries as lady's fingers, is a flowering plant in the mallow family. It is valuable for its edible green seed pods. The geographical origin of okra is disputed, with supporters of West Africa, Ethiopian, and South Asian origins. The plant is cultivated in tropical, subtropical, and warm temperate regions around the world. So the products of the plant are mucilaginous, resulting in the characteristic goo or slime when the seed pods are cooked.
That wasn't slimy at all, though.
So okra very much looks like a pepper, but tastes more like a cucumber, kind of. When it's pickled, at least, or fermented. It had very subtle flavor, though, I think. Most of the flavor came from the brine that it was in, which is a very cloudy brine.
Dude,
okay.
Let's do it, man. What else?
So we're going to move on to kimchi.
Mother-in-law's kimchi?
So this is a classic.
Oh, man. Have a little whiff of that. No, don't give that back. I'm not taking that back. Here's a couple things that are bothering me.
Yeah.
One, it's bubbling. Check that out.
It looks carbonated almost.
It's freaking bubbling.
So kimchi is a staple in Korean cuisine. It is a famous traditional side dish of salted and fermented vegetables such as Napa cabbage and Korean radish, made with a widely varying selection of seasonings including gochujara, chili powder, which is probably from the gochujang that we had.
Oh, yeah.
Spring onions, garlic, ginger, and geotagal, salted seafood. So kimchi has a very strong, like, spicy flavor, but it is fermented cabbage.
I mean, a couple things. First of all, it's bubbling again.
Yeah. It's still bubbling.
So it's not just that it's bubbling, and then there's like a big piece of cabbage that's just sticking out of
the top.
Right. You get dibs on that one.
Woo! That is kimchi. Watching Andy's face turn from sweet to sour.
No. Hold on.
So it definitely has the cabbage taste. It's got that like chili, a little bit of that chili spice to it.
It tastes carbonated.
Yeah.
Like the cap's open. It's bubbling.
As soon as you open the cap, it started bubbling. So
it's
it definitely
still bubbling.
has like a carbonated.
Are you seeing bubbles on your side?
Yeah.
It's like actively bubbling, like shooting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kimchi is very different from like the okra. So like the pickles, from pickle to pickle and the okra, it all had kind of that similar flavor of the pickled garlic vinegar kind of taste. But kimchi is very, very different.
I mean, this is the first thing. I mean, this is not the first thing that we've had that's considered fermented. Mm-hmm. I'm using bunny ear, like quotes. But it is the first thing that I've seen that is fermented that is actually bubbling.
Bubbling, and I think it's the first thing we've had today that had like chili in it.
Right.
So it's got like that spice to it.
A little more.
And the cabbage has a very different...
Oh, there's a lot.
that looks like almost like chicken skin.
Yeah, don't say that. I'm about to eat more. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of like, let me have this moment. Gross. Justin, you ruined it.
Do you want some cabbage with some cheddar?
No.
How about some cabbage with some goat cheese? That's what I'm going to try.
That's insane that as I'm chewing it, it's more carbonated. Isn't that right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's not just like a little bit of a chili or peppery bite. It's true carbonation. It is CO2.
So from my experience, people either like kimchi or hate kimchi. Because it's got a very like specific flavor, and I think it comes from fermenting that cabbage. And it's also got some spice to it. I just threw some goat cheese in there, the Welsh goat cheese. That was really good. But it was still pretty spicy.
This is a well-balanced kimchi.
It's very good kimchi, yeah.
And again, like this is distributed by Long Island City, New York.
So last week we had the Hypnotic from Long Island, and this week we have kimchi from Long Island.
Which one do you respect more?
The kimchi.
Yes, me too. And I don't even think we need to delve into why.
No. So that's good.
Okay.
I really like kimchi, but I don't think I could eat tons of kimchi, you know?
Right.
Like, I could sit there and just eat pickle after pickle. After, like, a couple pieces of kimchi, it's a little bit too much. All right.
Let's do it. Let's get into...
We'll take a little break, another break.
Yeah, let's have a pickle song for the ages.
We'll do a little bit of a pickle music, and we'll be back with some more pickled things.
Okay.
Pickle, 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 pickle.
And we're pickled.
Back. We're going to do a
Pickle Bag. So
Pickleback, we've talked about it before. You take a little shot of whiskey, and then you chase it with a shot of pickle juice. So because of my limited supply of shot glasses, we are going to do a shot of whiskey out of a shot glass, and then we're going to drink pickle juice right from the jar.
Yeah, and my pickle juice of choice is the Grillo's pickles. I got first crack at them.
Yeah, he grabbed faster than I could, so I'm doing bubbies. All right, so we're going to do shot and shot.
Cheers.
Pickleback, here we go.
Here's to friendship and drinking.
Ooh.
What do you mean, ooh? I cleared it so quickly. Yours was a little more of a kick.
Yeah, I got the briny cloud of the bubbies. Okay, so we've got 3 more pickled things. So we got a classic.
So hold on to your butts.
Hold on to those butts. Don't let go of the cheeks. And we've got dilly beans, which is a classic. We've got pickled mushrooms, which I'm pretty excited about. We've also got pickled beets. And according to the Fat Beets, which is the brand, it says it's good with goat cheese, which is why I got the goat cheese.
So let's just go top of the order, right?
Dilly beans. So dilly beans is a classic. We've been told to try dilly beans.
And so this is Crisp and Company.
Shout out to Katie Martin.
Shout out Katie Martin.
She told us to try dilly beans a long time ago.
Does she own dilly beans?
And no, but she told us to try dilly beans a long time ago, and we're going to try them.
Dilly Martin, or Katie Martin. Dilly Martin drives a hard bargain. I think we just take hands on this one, right?
Yeah, just grab it.
It's good. Mm-hmm. It's almost a little buttery.
So what is in a dilly bean? I'm going to have this with a little bit of the cheddar.
So it's green beans, water, vinegar, heirloom garlic, chile d'arbol, or chili d'arbol, dill, sea salt, mustard seed, sugar, and black pepper. The end.
So that's really good. It's got a little bit of hint of spice to it, but not too much. So, according to Wikipedia, dilly beans, or pickled green beans, are a means of preserving this summer legume.
Okay.
Often flavored with dill, hence the name. They may also contain garlic, Tabasco sauce, and red pepper. Best kept in glass jars for safekeeping over winter months. They can be served on their own, or as a snack, or alongside a main dish, or in a salad. I've heard a lot about dilly beans from different people, and it's just basically pickled green beans. With dill. With dill, yeah, basically.
They're pretty dill forward.
And they are very good with the cheese. Did you try them with the cheddar cheese?
Nay.
Scottish cheddar cheese?
Nay. Did you?
Yeah, they're very, very good.
You did when?
So, when I had a bean.
Right in front of my eyes?
So, one of the main things I've learned so far from this episode is cheddar cheese. Very well paired with pickled things.
Still don't like the texture difference.
It's a very weird blend.
The crunch and the
squish
softness.
And crunch.
Mm-hmm.
Squench, if you will.
Nope, try again. I guess that's as best as we can do.
So that was the dilly beans. Let's delve into these pickled mushrooms, which I'm a little excited about. So these mushrooms are...
These are mushrooms that are pickled.
So these are criminy mushrooms, apparently, with water, vinegar, heirloom garlic, extra virgin olive oil, fresh thyme, sea salt, and bay leaf.
Are you a mushroom guy? Are mushrooms like a go-to? Like you appreciate them? Like what? Okay, scale 0 to 10. 0, you absolutely hate mushrooms. You will never eat them. 10, you love mushrooms. If you're on an island, you would say, I will just have mushrooms for the rest of my life.
Probably like a 7 or 8. I really like mushrooms. I like them in things. I don't eat a lot of straight mushrooms. I have made stuffed mushrooms before with a little bit of Parmesan cheese and some spices, and those are good. These are really good, actually.
I would say, I mean, those are two extremes, like the 0 and 10. I would say I'm a 6. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'd say I have an appreciation of mushrooms. Maybe 6 or 7.
So this doesn't actually have dill, but it has water and vinegar, which are the first two ingredients, and then the garlic, olive oil, sea salt, thyme, bay leaf.
I don't know if this makes sense, but it doesn't take away from the mushroom flavor. It kind of flattens it, though. Mm-hmm. Like, it kind of like makes it like this compressed flavor. For me, there's not like a beginning, middle, and end. It's like, okay, mushroom flavor, and then you got the vinegar, and then you said dill? No, there's no dill.
No dill.
I don't taste any dill.
But there's bay leaf and garlic.
Definitely the garlic. It's good. It's really good.
It's very, very
what would
good.
you pair this with, or like what would you put on? I mean,
cheddar cheese, I think.
I was gonna say, like, I think we could do this in like a charcuterie board or something.
Would you like
that.
to try it with some goat cheese?
Fine.
It's hard to stab the mushrooms.
Sure. Here's a quick question. Are you good at carnival games?
So there was a time I went to a carnival.
What?
With a bunch of people. And you know the game where you throw the ping pong into the dish and then you win a golden fish?
A goldfish.
Yeah. Everyone I was with won a goldfish except for me.
Do you think it was like a pressure thing or?
Maybe. Because I was the last one to go.
Oh, yeah. So you picked that up with your finger, right? So that was just very difficult with a fork.
Very, very greasy, though. My hands
It
are
is greasy. It's really greasy. So it has olive oil.
Yeah.
And so the olive oil is mostly floating at the top. It's cool. So actually, one of our listeners, Lev, and listeners and guests, Lev, he had a pickle the other day, and it had allspice in it.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. It was like, I got to try it again when because my nose is more clear now, but it was like, whoa, like that opened my sinuses right up. And that actually took me back to the milk punch episode, because that was a very allspice heavy drink. I mean, think of like a spice like transcending like a milk rum cocktail into a pickle. I don't know.
Wow.
It's it was an odd place, but it worked for it.
And allspice is not like something you have on a day-to-day basis.
Should be called like a sometimes spice.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So we have one more thing to try, and that would be pickled beets.
Rick's Picks Fat Beets. PHAT. So pretty hot and tempting.
So
beets.
You'll be happy with these beets, Andy, because the beets that I originally picked up said that they were unbeatable heat because of the term, and I was like, I can't get too many things that are hot. So I went with Rick's beets, which supposedly pair well with goat cheese, and just be careful with the clothes because beets stain. I can't get a beet out of this jar if I wanted to.
More like skinny beets, am I right? Dude, that was the measliest piece I've ever seen. Can I tell you my feelings about beets?
Yeah.
I don't like them.
So beets, I'm not a big fan of beets, like plain beets. Beets with a little bit of salt and just salt. I've had salted beets and they're really good. Pickled beets, also very good. I'm not a big fan of plain beets, but these beets just on their own are very, very good. They have that like sweet, like beets have a kind of a sweet flavor, kind of like on a sweet potato or a yam side, kind of.
No, I agree with that.
But then you add the little bit of a pickled vinegar taste to it, and they're really good.
Have you seen the ingredients of this?
No.
I want you to guess the ingredients of this.
Vinegar.
What type of vinegar?
Apple cider.
Yeah, cider vinegar, yeah.
Cider vinegar,
Yeah.
nice. So it looks a little bit like liver on a plate.
Uh-huh. The looks of it? What else are you tasting? I'm just curious to see what you think.
That's all I'm really tasting is beet and vinegar.
Okay, so let me know if you taste these flavors. Onion.
No.
Lemon juice.
No.
Brown sugar.
Maybe a little bit.
Ginger. Rosemary.
No.
Allspice.
No.
Cinnamon sticks.
Nope.
Cloves.
No.
Do you taste the fact that it was manufactured in a facility that also handles wheat, soy milk, peanuts, and tree nuts?
For sure.
Oh, weird. You have a weirdly tuned tongue. So if you go to rickspicks.com for gift ideas, recipes, and more, guarantee those gift ideas are going to be beets.
Yeah. So it looks like they put so much like thought into like the flavor of it with like the cinnamon sticks and the cloves and
Yeah.
I'm just tasting vinegar and beet. I'm going to try a little bit of beet with some goat cheese, which is supposed to go well with.
Yeah, hook a brother up.
Very good. I think that's more because the goat cheese is very good. Not so much that the flavors together are great.
Yeah, I agree. So this goat cheese, like this is not, let's just be clear, this is not a crumbly goat cheese.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a harder,
So
just more firm goat cheese.
when I went to get goat cheese,
Uh-huh.
I was looking up goat cheese. Goat cheese classically comes in a softer version.
Yes.
So soft goat cheese has a more tangy flavor, whereas when you get hard goat cheese, it becomes more sweet. And so I decided to get a harder goat cheese just because I felt like tangy goat cheese with tangy pickled items wouldn't go well. So
It might have, though.
It might have.
I think that it might have gone well. Because when I think of like a good goat cheese, I also think of like a salad. When I taste this, the Rick's Picks fat beets, it just has like a salad flavor to it, right? Like it has like the good makings of
Like a balsamic vinegar.
Yeah, like a good balsamic vinegar. Yeah. So if there was like a nice like soft goat cheese with like a little bit of a tartness, I don't know, like a smoothness, right? I think that would have gone better.
I think it went well though. Like they didn't like detract from each other. I think it was a good pairing.
They didn't detract from each other, but I think that there were better cheese pickle combinations, right?
The cheddar though went great with the pickle items.
Yes.
I think the goat cheese didn't pair as well with the beets as it says on the can, and that's probably because I got the harder goat cheese, possibly.
So let's talk about this. Let's just do like a quick wrap up and meditation, if you will.
So the last three things we have: dilly beans, pickled mushrooms, beets. What was your favorite?
Let's say it at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Pickled mushrooms.
Nice. Cool.
And the dilly beans, like I've had dilly beans before. I really like dilly beans. These weren't the best dilly beans, and this is also from Crisp & Company, apparently. But these weren't as spicy. I like a spicier dilly bean, but I didn't get like super spicy dilly beans because I know Andy doesn't like spice, so those would be right out for him anyways. But
yeah, they were good.
I like dilly beans on the spicier side. The beets, I don't know. It's a weird combo between a vinegar taste and a sweet taste of the beet.
If this does them any justice, I'm not really a beet guy. Mm-hmm. This is one of the best beets I've ever had.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? But it's beets, and I just don't like beets so much.
I think that those beets combined with the right thing would be really, really good.
Yeah.
I think the goat cheese that we had wasn't the perfect pairing, but I think you could pair it with something that would be really, really good.
I think it's the combination of like a vegetal taste and crunchiness, and then also kind of an earthiness that sort of throws me off from the whole thing. Right? I think that's like my beet beef.
Your beet beef.
Right?
Oh, yeah. So, rewinding back to the middle break, when we had okra and kimchi, what would you like there?
That's a toss-up.
Yeah.
Okay? Because, so, in terms of kimchi personally, that's the best kimchi I've ever had.
Really?
I don't know.
It's good kimchi. I think the kimchi that I had, like, prepared at a restaurant was better.
Interesting.
But out of jarred kimchi, that's very, very good kimchi.
And then the okra, like, I was not disappointed in the okra. Right?
Okra is good. The okra itself had a very subtle flavor, so...
Right. But it was all pleasant, right? Like, the texture was pleasant. Right?
Yeah.
So
I didn't
that was
taste
cool.
much okra.
Right. I don't know what okra tastes like.
We
Really?
still don't, yeah.
So, pray for us.
But the kimchi was very good. It's very unique. It's very spicy, but also...
Carbonated?
Mm-hmm. It was very carbonated, strangely.
It had a good chili flavor. It had a good... That was a good...
Yeah, it's good.
You know, that was
It's a little bit spicy, but the cabbage, I think, has a very distinct flavor.
Not overpowering, though.
No,
It blended
not
well.
overpowering.
So, those are a toss-up. Those two were a toss-up.
Just because they're very different.
Yeah.
Out of those two, I would today pick the kimchi. Mm-hmm. But also with kimchi, I couldn't eat a ton of kimchi.
You can?
I can't.
Can't.
Like, I can snack on a little kimchi, but then sometimes, depending on the day, it's a little bit too much because of the spicy chili flavors. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the okra, because it was more subtle, possibly I could snack on that more. But today, I'm going to pick the kimchi.
So, and then lastly, the last group, or the first group, if you will, what was it?
Pickles!
It was just pickles, like cucumber-based pickles.
Yeah.
So, we had Grillo's pickles. That was the first one we tried. We had spicy maple bourbon
And then
by
we had the
Sam's
Bubby's-
Choice. And then Bubby's, of course.
Bubby's fermented pickles. Try another one of those maple pickles.
Nah,
They were so good.
I don't want to try it again.
So the maple bourbon pickles are a little bit sweet and spicy. Absolutely delicious. I love those pickles.
What was the best out of those three?
It's harder to do the three because two are standard pickles and one is flavored.
But in terms of like a standard pickle, like there was only one standard pickle of this entire, and by standard, I mean, I don't know, like the closest to the standard. There wasn't even like really like a classic standard pickle. Because the Grillo's pickles were kind of like a fresh pickle sort of
The
flavor.
Grillo's are the closest to a standard pickle that you'll get.
Right.
But the things that they're soaked in are a little bit different, like the garlic.
Yeah.
I don't think a normal pickle is soaked in garlic as much.
Right. Not at least like...
Maybe not grape leaves.
Well, and if they are soaked in garlic, it's not going to be like these big garlic slices.
So one of the ingredients of the Grillo's pickles is brine, interestingly enough.
Salt and water.
But I think if you're comparing the two, between the Grillo's and the Bubby's, I like the Grillo's.
But out of those three, right, if we're going to talk about those three that we tried before a break, what's your go-to?
Man, those maple bourbon pickles are so delicious. I think snacking-wise, and those I just had pickle with the cheddar, absolutely delicious.
I would still go Grillo's.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the Grillo's had a great crisp
I mean, just
taste to it.
phenomenal.
It was just a great pickle, crispy. The flavor was great.
If you want a pickle and like you still want to be able to do some like good activities, right? Like, so if you're say playing a round of tennis, right? I don't even know if it's called a round of tennis.
Maybe a volleyball enthusiast.
Yeah, maybe if you're a volleyball enthusiast, or maybe you're sitting on the bench because like you're kind of on the bottom of the eighth, and your team's batting or whatever. You want something that you can still be active with. I'd go for a Grillo's pickle, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So that would be my pick for those three. 100%, without a doubt, I'm still picking Grillo's pickle out of all of these.
Grillo's pickles were great.
They were all good. I wasn't disappointed in any of these. The musty flavor of the fermented pickle, it was a learning curve. It was something I'm going to get over. It tasted okay. I wouldn't say it was like my favorite taste in the world, but I can certainly appreciate it more than I did before.
Yeah.
So
I think out of all these, the kimchi was the most unique, though. They all kind of have a similar pickled dill flavor to it.
It's the only one that bubbled.
Yeah. But out of the pickled things, beans were great. Mushrooms were great. Beets were okay.
Yeah.
I think the pickled beets are better than a regular beet. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had, in terms of like the world of pickles, the world of kimchi, the world of beets, I've had the best pickle that I've ever had in my life. Best beet I've ever had in my life.
And the best kimchi?
Is Rick's Picks. And the best kimchi is mother-in-law's kimchi.
Wow.
Yep.
A lot of bests.
Stand by that. That's great, right? That's what this podcast's all about.
Yeah. Cool.
Good call, man. So, shout out to you because you pulled this together, right? You went to Pickletown.
I went to Pickletown. Yeah.
So, God bless you, dude. Well, take care of yourselves and each other.
And if you know of a better pickle or a better fermented item, let us know.
But yeah, so if you have any questions about any of these pickle brands, we are not sponsored by any of them.
Nope.
If you're any of these pickle vendors, I don't know if we'll sponsor you. It'd kind of a weird sponsor.
If you are Grillos, send Andy some pickles.
Actually, yeah. If you're Grillos, definitely like on point. Like we'll sponsor you. Or you'll sponsor us. We're not going to sponsor you.
No,
we have keep making those pickles and like just start clapping your hands.
Go Pickles!
Yeah, keep doing it, Pickles. And like no one's in the warehouse and it's 2 a.m. But yeah, if you have any recommendations for pickles, shout out on our socials. And thanks for listening. Thanks for catching up this week. Stay pickled. Okay. I'm not going to argue that. Yeah. Thanks for listening today. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can find this episode and others like it on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and a bunch of other places. And you can go to our website at www.snackdownpod.com. You can find us on YouTube. And you can call us at 315-313-5456. Thanks for listening. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the support. And we will see you next week. And sweet dreams. Sweet dreams. Sweet afternoons. And sweet good mornings. Good morning. Good morning. All right, bye. All right, bye. Have you ever had kimchi, Angie? Angie? Yes! Have you ever had kimchi, Andy? Hey, I'm Angie. Welcome to Snackdown. This is Angie. Angie's podcast. She's doing whatever she wants.